Hello, good afternoon from BBRC Britain and English on this rather sort of part cloudy, part sunny winter's afternoon here in England. Those of you from overseas, well, I'd just like to perhaps update you on a few issues of the day, perhaps a few impending challenges in this country. Certainly, we've got rather divided politics. Most of you know, any of you watches any of the BBC broadcast, BBC World Service perhaps, even BBC Newsnight broadcast all over the world. And perhaps I should say, probably better for us if it wasn't broadcast all over the world, because a lot of you from Africa and other places like Brazil and India possibly, certainly Russia, will know that the TV broadcasts are censored, certainly the news. And certainly in Russia, Putin controls the media, whatever goes out. And he actually says what goes out. And they have to believe it, or else there's trouble, as you probably realise. Now, in some ways, this probably happens in Africa and Asia as well. But certainly in the less developed countries and perhaps the more oppressive regimes, oppressive, should we say, and controlling, and well, there's who despots and various other rather irrational leaders, shall we say. They're not doing anything in a very conventional way. But looking at this country, while you can see we've got rather divided politics, the two-party system is actually in a mess. And also, perhaps, a lesson for perhaps young mothers and, should we say, single ladies perhaps as well who've got children. They're not actually training, according to local news, certainly national news in the last week or so, not training the children how to go to the toilet. Even at school, sometimes some that play school and even at school they can't actually go to the toilet, using a PO and things like that. So that's another problem, you know. And some people are blaming the scourge of mobile telephones, looking at phones the whole time without actually considering training your children, perhaps even reading to their children. So it's a big problem, that is. And perhaps it's a problem for the West, as they might say, you know, those countries in Europe, perhaps America, I don't know. But they need to discipline the children more. Well, hopefully there'll be some good news. Although I'm not sure when. And there's some work going on here for a new kitchen, I can tell you that. That's next week starting. And it's being moved, opened all right out here. Not that properties in this country, certainly flats and houses, small houses and social housing. It's all open plan these days, which means it's all open out. So that means the kitchen, diner will all be one. Sort of lounge, kitchen, diner. This is the sitting room here with a little dining area just there, and the kitchen, very small, like some people might say, galley kitchens, very small. It's like a little in line, cupboards both sides with a sink. Not very big, but as you probably realise, English people, those of you from overseas, we do actually, we've become very acquainted to live in quite small surroundings, nothing very big, and in fact some of the internationals who've bought properties here to rent out realise how actually English people will quite happily live in small surroundings, perhaps even turning about one bedroom flat into perhaps two flats. And I've heard that with some French and Italians in London, because space is of a premium and very expensive as well. Anyway, hopefully there'll be a few more insights. I am going to London this weekend, so there might be a few things I can perhaps film there, which might be of interest, although of course a lot of things do take place later in the spring sort of thing, and into the summer a lot more going on. But of course there's always something to see and do in London. Thank you very much for joining me here today. This has been BBRC Britain and English. Thank you now. God bless you. Bye bye now.